Next on YoTV coming up, we got doing hairdos.
We got some about head wraps. Oh, and we got poetry.
Oh boy, don't go nowhere. Yada!
Welcome to a new episode of YoTV. I'm Ann.
I'm Paul.
And we got a guest host for you. Come over here. Janice, oh my goodness, she's from North Oakland. And she goes to SF State. And that's where we are. We're close by, Lake Merced. And who are we, Paul?
We YoTV, we crank hella hard.
That's right, we do crank. And next up for you, we got a story about doing the do, right? Do you ever get your hair done?
Yeah, you gotta get a little wrap or something, get it all done up.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Well, we met some girls out in Oakland who get paid for it. So go ahead and check out this next segment.
In the point, we hustle any way we can. Most girls braid for a living, and that's the way they make money, doing the do's. I've been doing hair since I was 14. My cousin Rashida showed me how to do my first braid, and I've been braiding ever since.
I got started braiding like watching my cousins, my sister braid, helping her out. People come and ask me to do a mohawk all the time. They'd call my phone, I tell them what time to come, and they'd come to my house, and I braid it. My nickname is Jazzy. I'm from San Francisco. I live in West Point Projects. I've been living there all my life. I just want to do something positive with my life. It's not that hard. I don't know why people say that. Maybe it's because of the killing and stuff, but you got to look past that and do you and move on with your life because you don't want to be up in the projects for the rest of your life. Before, when I first started braiding, I used to charge people $20 for clothes like a swoop and a ponytail, a spike ponytail. I used to charge them hecka cheap. And then people started telling me, like, you braid too good to be charging them so little. So then I started raising up on my prices because I felt that I braid too good too, and I be braiding for less money than what I should be getting paid for. A street braid is you just charge them however much you want to charge them. It depends on, like, if you know them, and if they willing to pay, then you charge them however much you want to charge them, like 80, you feel me? If they like, you know them, then I charge them like 40, half the price, because I know them for a long time.
My name is Christina. My mother used to do hair when she was younger, and I used to always play with her leftover hair and stuff and try it on my dolls. My 7-year-old daughter braid. She know how to do extensions, and she be trying to do weaves and stuff. I'm actually glad that she learning, because as she get older, that could be her little hustle, to keep some money in her pocket. I could support myself with braiding and doing, well, I just don't braid. I do invisible braids, micro braids, cornrows, sew-in weave, fusion weaves, micro lace weaves, relaxers, quick weaves. But braiding started from Africa, that's natural. Like, the state board is trying to make it that you have to have a license to braid hair. And that's a bunch of bull crap, because we've been braiding from the beginning of time. So how are you going to try to make us have a license and it came from Africa? That's something that we do. Some of the most popular hairstyles today is quick weaves, and that's you use bond, you use glue and tracks, and then mohawks, the braided mohawk style.
Singles, quick weave caps.
The Iverson braids.
The quick weaves that's cut into short hair cuts.
Patch braids with patches of color. Colorful dreads. A lot of hairstyles we wear today are a part of our cultural history. For example, braids came from Africa, and black people brought them to America, where they changed into different kinds of styles. Dreads were originally worn in ancient Egypt. Then they were born again in Jamaica as a part of the Rastafarian movement, as a symbol of resistance. Dreads became popular in Jamaica where the singer Bob Marley started rocking them. Then Lil Jon brought them into the rap game. Now the Bay Area hyphy movement made dreads even more popular. To do hair, you have to have patience. You deal with all sorts of people with all sorts of attitudes. You can catch people getting their hair braided on the bus, in the class, at the salon, in the living room, in the car. As you can see, braiding is a part of our life, our everyday culture, our community.
All right, you guys, we're about to go to a commercial break, but before that, we're going to check out Conscious You.
MediaCrew.org. All right, so up next for you, we have a story about a young woman who wears a head wrap. Yes. And what is it for? Religious reasons?
Oh, and fashion. Check out the mini style she has and all her reasons for wearing her head wrap. It's pretty interesting.
I heard she has a Calvin Klein one. That's pretty expensive. Ooh. Deep passion.
I started wearing the hijab on the first day of school. That's when I consider myself as the first day that I started wearing the hijab. But the decision, it was a long process. I had been thinking about it beforehand, like before I went on my pilgrimage. And when I came back from my pilgrimage, I needed to do something to help me maintain that spiritual feeling that I felt over there. And I felt the hijab could help me do that. This is a picture of my family when we went on our pilgrimage. This is like the holy Kaaba, where they make the covering of it. We went to Saudi Arabia for our pilgrimage in the cities of Mecca and Medina. Medina is the city that the Prophet went to, and Mecca is where the Holy Kaaba is, which is where Muslims face when they pray every day. In both places, we visited like different things that where the Prophet had been and where like certain battles had taken place. And it was a really good experience because I had always grown up little, like my parents would read me like stories about these places, like this was a great woman and she had done so much for our religion, and actually to be at her grave, and it was just a totally different experience. This is like when we were on our pilgrimage and we were at this mosque where one of the companions of the Prophet was buried. Someone took a picture of me praying. After I had realized that I wanted to wear it, that I wanted to wear it in some point in my life, but I always felt like I couldn't wear it to school because I would be like, what would the kids say and stuff, and I felt like, especially in today's society, like I would kind of be discriminated against. I had told them beforehand when I got back from my pilgrimage, I was like, okay, on the first day of school when you see me, there's going to be something different. And so when they saw me, they were just like, wow, you look so nice and stuff. And they're just like, I like, because I matched my hijabs with the clothes that I wear. So one of my friends like came up to me, like she comes up to me seriously every single day. And she's always like, your scarf is such an accessory because you match it to your clothes. So they were really supportive about the whole thing. And I felt like it was a good experience for me to talk to them about my religion and my beliefs and my experience. My parents had been supportive, and they had been encouraging me before. Like before when I would wear it, if we went to the mosque or something, my parents would always say, oh, you look so nice in it. And so my mom had been wearing it before, but I didn't really consider it the hijab because her hair would always show. She just had like a little shawl around her head. My mom was really, really happy, and she felt like that she was going to start wearing it sort of like properly, like the way I was going to. And my dad was really happy too because I knew I had wanted to do it, but I'd never felt like I had the strength enough to put it on. So I guess he was also really happy. My sister was too. Like I remember the first day I put it on and we went to the mall and she was like, wow, I feel like you're so brave to put it on and go out here. I always kind of suspected that they thought I was kind of back out on it once I actually started. Once I got back to America and like the environment was going to be different. Like over there everyone wears it, so it's easy to wear it. But over here they felt like I kind of felt like they thought that was going to happen. So when I was there, I bought like every Serious Day, like we go to pray 5 times a day. Every time before prayer or after prayer, we would go and we would go to the shops, and they're everywhere. And so if I saw one that I would like, I would buy it. And I mean, they're so much cheaper there than they are over here. And I've seen people sell them here, and they're also really pretty, but they're just like $20, $25 each. And I felt like over there was more variety and more colors. I wear it in so many different colors. Like I have such a big collection of my scarves. I have different colors and I match my colors and everything. So I think that helps. I bought a Calvin Klein one because I thought it was pretty cool that they have brand new ones. But I also bought like other ones. Like I knew like at the time stripes were in style over there. Like everyone had striped cloaks and stuff. So I got a few striped scarves and then just different colors. Like when I was there, I actually like kind of thought of what clothes I have back home so I could color coordinate with that. So I got like a lot of solids and I got some printed ones. So just whatever I liked. So this is my scarf collection. My drawer, like I said before, it broke because I have so many. But I have to like keep them folded and organized. But I have a lot in a lot of colors. This is my favorite one because it's really sparkly. And then like I mentioned before that stripes were like a big thing. So this is like one of the stripes that they were talking about. And more stripes. And just like different colors and designs. Like I got really bright colors like these to go with everything. This is my Calvin Klein one. It says Calvin Klein on it. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, I wore this one on the first day of school, and when most people asked me, like when they came up to me to see my scarf, they're like, oh my god, it's Calvin Klein. So that was like their first reaction to that one. The traditional ones are the ones that are just plain black.
Oh, okay.
Like this one, it's just, you can see it's just plain black. And this is like a really traditional Pakistani one. This was my grandma's, and she wore it when she went on a pilgrimage, and then when she passed away, my mom gave it to me. So I like this one. In the Prophet's time, one of the things was the wives of the Prophet, they would all cover themselves, and that was a sign that these women were all like the Prophet, like these women were Muslim. And so it's obligatory on every woman, but not everyone does it. The cloak and the head covering that Muslim women wear isn't too different than what nuns wear. And people are calling Muslim women oppressed, but the nuns are wearing something so similar, and I haven't heard anything against them. I think a lot of people think that it's a form of oppression and that people are forced to wear it, but personally I don't see it that way. You've probably heard this before, but it is liberating, because I know that if I wear the hijab and I say something, my answer will be taken more seriously than someone who isn't. I started talking to some other girls that wore the hijab, and they were like older, businesswomen and stuff that wore the hijab, and they also said the same thing. They said that when they go to an office or if they're having a meeting or something, whatever they say, people will pay attention more than what someone else has to say. And I think, like, also wearing the hijab, though, on my personality, like, I feel like since everyone is looking at me, I have to, like, take my actions into control, because anything I do, my religion will be judged on that basis.
Oh boy, and if you want to see more ethnic stories like that one you just saw,
go ahead. Check out our website at
newamericamedia.org.
And we got a bookstore there, too. You can read up on some of these interesting story thingies that we have going on.
Here we go.
Up next for you, we have Shanaka Hodge. She is a part of the Youth Speaks, and through that, she puts together Brave New Voices. Have you ever seen this woman live at all?
Yeah, I think she performs in Oakland, and she does the National Poetry Slam.
That is
all that
nice.
good sweet stuff.
Well, up next for you, we have an interview with her. So go ahead and check it out.
I'm 22, and I've been a writer for pretty much as long as I can remember. My father used to give me these journals every year for my birthday, like a birthday present and a journal. And I really rejected the journal, so I'd write like a poem and then cast it aside. So I have all these books with just like the first page filled. But when I was 12 or 13, I started participating in the Oakland Public Schools Oratorical Fest, started performing other people's poetry. And then in the 8th grade, I started writing poems for like cheesy little love poems for the dinner dance, or like if someone needed a brief write-up for the yearbook. I was a yearbook editor, so I write that kind of stuff. And then in the 9th grade, I met Youth Speaks, which is a poetry organization, and they came into my classroom, and I started writing poems of my own, and I'd already been doing the oratorical competition with other people's poems, so it was a pretty natural step from doing other work to doing original work. And so I started participating in the Slam, which is a competition. And then pretty much every facet of Youth Speaks, I've done some task. I've taken out the trash, I've sat in board meetings. My most recent work has been about family documentation, personal narrative, things that have happened in my life. Just trying to tell the real of it, or get to the reality, the way the reality feels in my body through fiction. I'm most comfortable in poetry. I've been leaning towards shorter poetry, so where I used to write 5 pages, I'm writing 7 to 10 lines now, and that's kind of like my comfort form. What I'm most interested in writing is not what I'm most comfortable with. I'm most interested in doing the things that challenge me, so screenplay, stage play, and novel. I'm working on a novel right now. At Youth Speaks, my official title is the Associate Program Director. But I just stepped into that role in the last 3 months. Before that, I was the Brave New Voices Coordinator. Both of those are kind of laced with big words. Brave New Voices was is the National Youth Poetry Slam Festival. And so I was a New York liaison. I set up food, housing, transportation, and program logistics for the event for like 400 youth to come to New York, share their poetry, bust, pretend to be in a competition with each other, and really fall in love with word and each other. Now I manage a couple different projects in Youth Speaks, specifically the After School Workshop program, free writing workshop for 13 to 19-year-olds all around the Bay. I'm working on First Word Press, which is our in-house press. We put out 6 books last year and 3 books over the last couple of years before that. And we're basically a publishing house for young writers to publish their first work, first manuscript. When Youth Speak started in '96, there was very little poetry in the schools, and technology, '96, people were just really coming off of car phones, like cell phone technology was just coming out. Palm Pilot hadn't really popped yet. And you know where we are from there technology-wise. I can also say that in those 10 years, every student we talk to in the school says that they're a poet or an MC. People are writing books and publishing them. We served in '96 roughly 300, 400 kids. Now we serve over 40,000, all who say that they're writing on a daily or on a weekly, if not daily basis. Log on to our website, www.youthspeaks.org, if you're interested in joining Youth Speaks. You can come to our free after-school workshops. The workshop bulletin is posted on the website. We serve both the East Bay and the West Bay, 3 sites on each, including the Teen Center, the YMCA Teen Center in East Oakland, the Malonka Cascalord Center for the Arts in downtown Oakland, and Berkeley High School. If you're a McClymonds student, we have special programs for just the McClymonds High campus. And then on the other side of the Bay, we're doing workshops at Lyric, the Lavender Youth Recreational and Informational Center. It's an LGBT center, but the programming there is going to be political. 7 Teepees in the Mission, as well as 180 Cap Street. Kearney Street Workshop is partnering with us on an APIA-focused workshop. That's the best place to start. And then you can come to our slams, you can come to our events. You can hit up info@youthspeaks.org and send an email with the question. Yeah, those are good ways to start. I'm Shanaka Hodge, and you are watching YoTV on TV 20. Stay tuned, because the hotness is about to come from YouTube. Peace.
All right, don't go anywhere, YoTV, because we have a commercial break, but then after that, we got some Shanaka Hodge poetry for you. Woo! All right, up next for you, we do have the poetry of Shanaka Hodge, and I like this one personally because she talks about one of those girly subjects, about being on the phone with your sister and catching up on old times. Go ahead and check it out.
This is from Maya, who I miss the most when she calls for no reason. I spoke to my younger sister on the phone today, mostly because she's at that stage where girls must talk on the phone until they are sore at the gums because pop and gum just don't get it anymore. Because she's now one of the cool girls at school, and even at 11, she must hold it up to her head while little Romeo and his pops work it out on Nickelodeon. And I spoke to my youngest sister today. Apple of my eye, one of my favorite siblings, I think, because she looks like me at fish and smaller children and mountains and fried chicken and an excessive amount of television on Sunday mornings. And I know it's wrong to have favorites, but if you don't tell nobody, neither will I. She calls me knock and said, "You have to write about home, you should write about me." And I said, okay. So this is the promise I made to her, which I swear I will keep, because mostly I feel her world sliding into teenage entropy like a mudslide, and a good deal of my world there was built on things people promised me but could never deliver. So I tell her I will call and call when I say I will, and I never forget her birthday and never forgive myself if I do. I spoke to my youngest sister today, and I keep on kicking myself for talking so much, because she's 11 now, will grow to be 12, 18, 26, and like me will grow thighs and firm and rooted, and ignorant folks will make her guess how truly beautiful she has always been. Have you seen my sister's eyes, or what she goes searching for in the dark? She doesn't have nightmares of goblins or witches, but is terrified of men in white hoods and movies about the 60s and 50s and 40s, and cannot sleep a wink for weeks. And I curl next to her in bed, our bodies so similar. I hold her close enough to me that her hair gets tangled in my mouth, keep her trembling right hand steady, unable to say, "Quiet, sister. These things are in the past," but ready to keep them from shaking too hard. And I spoke to my younger sister today. From so many miles away, she didn't have much to say, like her older sister, who wants so badly to warn her and protect her, and we become like tourists in each other's backyards.
All All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that show. Did you like those pieces?
Those were cool. I love the poetry. And the head wraps, yo, got to get your head big.
Well, that's what we do at Yo Youth Outlook. We try to give voices to the young and the restless out there in the Bay Area. So go ahead and check out the website at youthoutlook.org. We also got another website, newamericamedia.org. It talks about ethical, political, all those different issues that interest you and me.
That's what's up.
And well, that's it. Thank you, Janice, for coming out and hanging out with Yo TV. And we will see you next Saturday morning.
Peace.
Alrighty, Yo TV, next.
Oh, we got some,
I was supposed to say coming up on Yo TV.
and then we got some girly poetry for you. Ew, girl.
We got some footage from the archives.
Let's start now.
If you don't know what Brave knew. That was hard. That was a twist on a joke. If y'all don't know that joke, that's a good joke. It's a Puerto Rican in a car. I mean, it's a Puerto Rican and a black guy in a car and a white dude. Right, where they going?
You just broke your own rule.
To jail. You feel me? That
was so funny.
You feel me?
I know long ass jokes. I don't think we have time for
We sure don't. I guess you're gonna use all these, huh?
We have to figure out something like that.
I thought she really fell.
You scared of you trying to move.
Tripping like